I'll be talking about IEEE Smart Village, and I know most of the people here on the call are already familiar with it. If you are already familiar with Smart Village, it's good to raise up your hand. I can see some of the Smart Village volunteer already here. Okay, that's very good. Nice to know you're here. So I'll be talking something about how you can also get involved, either as a student, as an entrepreneur, as a volunteer, etc. So Theodore already made mention about who I am, but for those of you that would like to connect, it's easy for you to scan the QR code and we can continue the discussion. I currently wear double art in Region 8 as a past chair of the Humanitarian Technology Committee, just like Theodore mentioned, and also as chair of student activities in our region. But Smart Village Initiative is a program where I'm the senior vice president. I was the founder of the Smart Village for Africa working group. We started that in 2020, and now I think we have representation in 44 African countries. So please connect and let's talk. So what is Smart Village? Many people think it's just an initiative that started to connect off-grid community, but I will say that it's actually an incubator and social seed fund program that was established very long time ago, about 11 years ago when it was adapted as Smart Village. But it started as an initiative, which I'll be talking after this slide for you to understand. So when it all started, it was looking into energy, education, and enterprise, as you can see in the three pillars. And who are the people behind this? The ISV partners. We call them partners because these are the developers, and also the volunteers on the other side. But with the emergence of many technical society within IEEE interested in the program, the Smart Village initiative was not only focusing on energy, but you can see that the energy now changed to technology. So it's kind of incubator program that looks into productive use of tech and focus on education and enterprise for communities. And it's powered by for-profit organization partnering with a non-profit organization to do an impactful initiative within either schools, communities to impact thousands to like 1 million. So since 14 years ago when it started, it has already mentored over 80 enterprises, and I'll be showing some of the enterprises. And the fact is that they are to kind of empower those communities to grow beyond the seed funding that Smart Village is providing for them to become something very big. So what is not Smart Village? I already mentioned that Smart Village provides seed funding, something for you to start your big objective, and it's not for profit. Smart Village is not expecting you to bring back the seed fund that was given to you, but you will be monitored for a period of 5 to 10 years before you become well established. So Smart Village funded 100% by donations. So if you have a very good, interesting idea and it passes through the processes of Smart Village, which I'll be discussing with you, Smart Village does not have the 100% funds, but they'll go to seek donations from technical societies and councils and the IEEE foundations to make sure that they work with you to make you succeed. So we're a very big community, and it's a systematic solution of empowering a community and elevating poverty. So that's the focus. So what is the history behind this initiative? So this is pre-Smart Village in the sense that Smart Village wasn't formed there. So there was a situation in Haiti about 14 years ago where this community are suffering from electricity and even lighting. So some few visionary came together and set up what they call Community Solution Initiative. This was presented in one of the global humanitarian conferences, and that idea was well thought of. and it becomes something that later to become IEEE Smart Village. So the idea is to incubate, develop, and educate as a framework to empower communities. So emphasis is actually also on education. If you are doing a project, you have to train the people in the community to take them to a level whereby they become educated to carry out projects. So the leadership team, you can see on the left side of the screen, you see Ray Larson and also Robin Podmore. These two guys are the actually founders of ISV, and also they put together the idea, they nurtured it, and make sure it becomes what it becomes today. And you can see a staff supporting them, which is the senior program manager, Mike Wilson, and the current executive committee that is running the affairs of Smart Village. Those on the right, you see Rajan Kapoor, the president, and you see the other senior vice president, including myself, and the past president, John Nelson. So how does it work? This is more like the organization chart. You can see PES sitting on one side, because PES actually is one of the major donors to Smart Village, and this initiative actually was built between IEEE structure from PES. But you can see other organizations within IEEE also on the right side, in the sense that most of them are also part of the boards and also fund some of these projects that interest them. So there's a governing board and also the committees, as well as the respective working group, which will be of interest to you if you want to join, and some other committees that work at the level where it can interest you. So you have respective working group. We have them cut across the entire globe. We have from the Africa Working Group, we have the Latin American Working Group, North American Working Group, South Asia, and also the China Working Group. The idea is that we collocate people so that they can easily manage this information correctly. You have the ISV committee. So if you're interested to join any of this committee, you can easily sign up and you can be mentored on so many things. If education is your concern, if safety reliability is your concern, and if you want to be part of the people working on projects, you can also join any of these committees. Just go to the Smart Village website and you can sign up, or you can even talk to me directly. I'm happy to connect you to the right people. So every working group has a mandate. Some of them are listed here, and this mandate is to develop very good representation of respective group within that region they operate, and also set up ISV communities within your respective student branches. You have volunteers that are ready to take up Smart Village project, and the idea is for these students to have hands-on experience as an entrepreneur before they leave universities, and also be able to support some of the projects that's coming out from respective group. And every year there's what they call the Power Africa Conference, although it's something being sponsored by PS and IES, but it actually talks variety of things, including humanitarian. And the last one was held in Morocco. The next one, which is going to be in October, I'll be talking to you about it, is going to be in Johannesburg. And also the 2025 is already decided, because I'm also part of the steering committee for that conference. It's going to Egypt. So for those of you in Egypt, you're lucky. Smart Village will be coming to your doorstep. So some of the ISV initiative, which is some of the things your side groups can do, I'll be talking to you about it. This is one of the very good initiative that just started in Egypt, Nile University. It's called the Electric Deer Scooter Project, e-mobility. So Nile University are keen on having this, because moving from block to block is a kind of a challenge. So these young guys from the university and entrepreneurs, they came up with an idea that, okay, we can actually build a kind of a charge station and also have e-scooters around the campuses where people can use the scanner on their phone and also lease this scooter for the duration that they can, travel within the campus. So their target is both students and also security officials within this school. And this project is going on well. And I think the approved fund for this was between 3,000 to 5,000, and it's already creating impact. So if your side group is interested, try to work with your Africa working group. And we also have people from Middle East there and also Europe. And you can also, connect with me. I can guide you through some of the process that I'll be defining later in the day on how you can make this happen. So we have another initiative in Rwanda, which is the cold storage. So this is more like an initiative that it's serving like kind of a community initiative for women, and the target is to actually provide cold storage for some of the farmers for their agricultural products. So a cold storage was built and also powered with solar system and some capacitors and batteries, so that these women, when they harvest their fruits, they can easily put it there and also pay like a kind of a fee for the usage of the storage. So the developer was the African Development Promise, and they've completed this project. It's already running, and the impact is being recorded as we speak. Smart irrigation for Kunde Island. This is a project that's happening far wild in India. So the idea is to deploy some kind of infrastructure for sustainable irrigation, because these people um, kind of lack reliable or sustainable rainfall. So the idea is to provide an irrigation whereby you have some kind of renewable energy to pump water, and that water is used for some kind of aquanet. And this is already going on well. You can see them doing the site map out and also doing some of these installations in this location. So I'm also very, very interested in this project because it's happening in Nigeria, and it's even complete now, and most of the off-grid are connected. So this is a project whereby 100 kilowatts peak of solar panels being installed in 3 communities, one in River State, one in Abia, and this project is already connecting customers, whereby this serve like a kind of a mini grid that's providing electrification for the entire community. So Smart Village saw some seed funding, and this was provided to the developer, and they've already finished doing this installation. So the Bayshore Secondary School, Nepal electrification. I'm just running through this so that you have some kind of idea what Smart Village is looking for. This is a similar project, but this is for a school. And also the school were running a very, very high tariff for electricity. So they had to go green, and the developer did the installations, and this was a kind of a way to reduce that tariff. And this developer is being paid for that usage within the university. So Light of Runa is a project that's also happening in Nigeria. This is happening in Zaria, and this community lack the grid electricity, and 11 kilowatts peak solar panels were installed. It's still ongoing as it is 75% complete, and they will be able to support their respective enterprises like the barbing salon and some other small enterprise within that village once it's complete. So we have this solar bakery and milling that is going on in DRC, and this is just a project that just kicked off. So they have this mill bakery that's using the fossil fuel, and the idea was to kind of make sure that the carbon footprint is reduced. So this fossil fuel bakery is being demolished, and the new solar powered and green will be installed. This is actually sponsored by IEEE Foundation, and it's currently progressing very well. And it's happening in two batches. We have the Honey Hub that was already complete. We have the solar agri system in Argentina, and also the bear share capacity for Galapagos, which is an incubator to train people on installation of solar. So because of time, I'll just run into quickly the process. So if you're interested, actually you have to work very closely with the working group. The working group will kind of mentor you, guide you through the concept notes, just a 2-pager, and it's going to have all the informations that ISV want to see. And you'll be taking through the process of writing a lean business model canvas to make sure your business becomes sustainable, and you're able to go through the process, which is the agreement. The agreement has to provide some kind of exhibit A, where the deliverables that your initiative is meant to achieve is provided. You go through the funding process, where ISV will go out to source for these funds, and they provide that funds to you. And the tracking will begin. That tracking is done either by you submitting monthly, quarterly reports or tranche payment reports. And also, if the leadership feel like they want to send someone on site, then they can send a volunteer to check what is going on. So this continue for the period of the duration that is agreed on that. And this is how ISV run its operation. So no project is too small and no project is too big. The thing is, it's just for you to key into the psychology and the idea of what we're doing. So these are some of the upcoming conference. This is a Power Africa. And remember that you have the Media Entrepreneurs Competition, which is still open, just for you to record 5 to 7 minute videos, and you are able to connect with the media entrepreneur. You stand a chance of winning up to like $500. There's an open student scholarship awards that's going on, and also the student paper contest. Is too late now, but every year it's done. So you look forward into that. So this is all I have for you today, and thank you very much.
I think I'm going to just build on the idea of what community problem could you solve with the help of another IEEE program called Epics and IEEE. So I'm not going to take more than 15 minutes here. And my idea is just to walk you through what can you do and how can you get funding from Epics and IEEE to do a project that could solve a local community problem. Let's begin. A quick background on me. I'm an engineer also. I hold a bachelor's from India and then master's from Sweden, from KTH actually in Stockholm. I started as an R&D software developer, then took over as the manager for a small team of 12 people. I then became a project manager for a few years, and now I am heading the software group for the complete R&D of Hitachi Energy Mark team. That is basically 150 people approximately within Sweden, India, and Poland, working with, as you see, a lot of things, embedded software, infrastructure, cybersecurity, validation, testing. So that's me. Let's keep the longer versions for some other time when we get chance to talk more and meet in person. Forgot to mention, so on the IEEE front, I've been the past chair of Epics and IEEE. So I'm today the chair of the ad hoc within the Region 8, but I'm the immediate past chair for the global committee on Epics and IEEE. And I'm also the immediate past chair for IEEE Sweden section, and etc. etc. So let's move on from that. I think you have now so far understood and heard about the Smart Village program and also the programs that Theo talked about. I think if you look into the IEEE portfolio, I mean, there are at least a myriad, or I don't want to take a number of 10, 15, 20, sorry. But there are at least a couple of programs that you can find that suits what you need to be able to develop your project, your career, could be a school project or whatnot. And Epics and IEEE is another one. So Epics and IEEE here is a program that is under Educational Activities Board. So if you know the IEEE structure, I mean, there's a tab, Technical Activities Board, there's an EAB, there's an MGA, and all sort of things. And this program, EPICS and IEEE, comes under Educational Activities Board. And it is basically for students. The program is for students, but also for young professionals and others. So I'll come to that part very soon. But basically what we're saying is it's an Educational Activities Board program that supports students especially to do projects outside of classroom or within classroom with the classroom knowledge and benefit humanity. That's the short story here. And the fine print here is that this program actually was started by Purdue University. So those of you who know Purdue University in the US, it's quite a well-known university. And the past director of IEEE, Leah Jamieson, when she became the director or the CEO of IEEE, she still works at Purdue, by the way. She brought in this program. And she said, with the help of students and student branches and young professionals all around the world that IEEE has, we can actually expand this program quite a lot. And this is where it started, 2009. What you see in the bottom, education, access and abilities, environment, and human services are the 4 pillars or the 4 different buckets you can call where you can have your project in. And I'll give you examples of what each one of these is, but basically we are here to help, and we can fund any sort of project that helps the community, the one that you're living in, to thrive and to become better. Some good numbers now. Since 2009 up until last year, we don't have the data for 2024. That comes at the end of this year. But up until last year, as you can see, I mean, we have quite a lot of investment done in students. Now, this is all the money that we have just given to students all around the world. And if you look around the number of students we have been working together with, around 11,000 students, quite a lot, I would say. And out of those, about 10% of them are IEEE volunteers, over IEEE volunteers also. If you look at the participation, though, we have 37% of projects coming from North America, sorry, 32% from Asia, 15% from Africa, 13% from South America, and just 3% from Europe. The reason this ad hoc started to become a real ad hoc within Region 8 is because of this, that we don't have as many projects coming in from Europe. Of course, we do want to increase the projects here also, including Africa, but for sure, this is one area where we are really, really low. And then again, the shining star here is that the total estimated people impacted so far is a huge number. So I just want you to think about this. Just 11,000 students, 1,000 IEEE volunteers impacting these many people around the globe. It's a large impact we are talking. And our ex-CEO, our past CEO of IEEE, Saifur Rahman, he actually described EPICS and IEEE as the best kept secret. And the reason is this, because it wasn't very well known up until a few years ago when we started to talk more and more about it. And this number, it just speaks for it, right? Okay, great. So what are we talking then? So we are talking about, as I said, 4 different buckets of projects, and each of these buckets have their own strengths. But what we want at the end of the day is engineering students, and those are students from first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or students in their master's or PhD, develop skills outside of the classroom. So for sure, you learn something in the classroom. So for all these students here who have been learning in the classroom, something about electronics, something about mechanics, aerospace engineering, at the end of the day, you want to go out in the field and apply your skills, right? And EPICS and IEEE is one of those programs that funds you to do that. And in this complete movement of doing something outside of the classroom, you actually learn to communicate better, perhaps collaborate, you develop leadership skills. You also learn project management because you need to have a budget ready, you need to have a chair, you need to have vice chair, blah, blah, blah. And also time management because you need to finish a project in certain period of time. So I would say this is one of those programs that you can actually get money for to do anything you want that helps community. And in doing so, you learn all of this. I'm going to give you quickly a 30-second view of what each of these buckets are, just so that you get some idea. Environmental pillar, I think that's the easiest one to understand. Climate change, global warming, recycling, all of these are part of this. The project that you see here is actually an underwater sensor that was being developed here on the top right to be able to estimate the population of oysters in the New Hampshire section. This is from the US. But the fact is, you can basically count on anything, flooding, fires, whatnot. All of them are included in this bucket. So I'm just trying to tell you that this is a very vast bucket. You can actually think of anything around you that can help the environment, and that counts in this. Education and outreach, also a simple one to understand. I mean, we definitely want to educate more and more people worldwide, especially on K-12, which are basically high school students. Now, high school students, as a matter of fact, do not know if they should pick up engineering as a curriculum or not. So you want to attract them towards engineering. And this is one of those buckets where you can design programs, come up with innovative ways of teaching, maybe even go out to the rural areas and teach something. And that way you're actually education, you're putting education on the top of everything. Third pillar, access and abilities. Also a simple one, I would say. Here we are thinking of people with disabilities, with special needs. You can think of hearing aid, you can think of visual technologies, you can think of a smart wheelchair, a smart stick for the blind and deaf, and whatnot. All of those come in this bucket. And finally, this one. Now, this is a bucket where if you think that your project still solves a community problem, but it does not really fit in the previous three, you can put it here. And what it says here is, homelessness prevention, affordable housing, neighborhood revitalization, family agencies and governments. Now, what we don't do, what it doesn't say here is what we don't do. And those are things such as human trafficking. We know human trafficking is a big problem around the world, but IEEE does not put its foot in the things that has to be solved by local governments and governments around the world. But we do help the government solve problems. So we could help government in coming up with a technology that helps that, but we will not put our foot into solving the human trafficking problem itself. But everything else, as you see here, is covered. So I hope you got some idea on what kind of projects we do. Not going into the detail of how you write a proposal, but there will be a seminar that I'll come to later. But in the first place, why should you prepare an Apex proposal? I mean, if you're thinking, right, I mean, there are 10 or 20 of these opportunities where I can write a proposal, get money. So why should you do an Apex and IEEE proposal? Well, first of all, as it says, apply engineering principles outside of the textbook. I think you learn a lot in the classroom, but at the end of the day, you want to do something outside in the field, somewhere in the community. And this is one of those programs that can help you do that. Of course, you build your resume by doing so, right? I mean, you're actually putting an IEEE stamp on your CV also that we did a project under Apex and IEEE. You get closer to the section and professional student branch and the professional section, of course. So you get closer to the young professionals and whatnot. And that way you also become, start to know more about IEEE. And if you're really interested in doing something in the future, this is a way of getting in. It could be excellent way of building your own, again, research experience or internship or anything, a master thesis, anything that you think is of use to you. And we, of course, fund you with supplies, with materials, and fund you with anything that you think is useful for the project up until $10,000. And finally, you connect with the community. I think that's a big one, right? I mean, you want to connect with the community locally and you want to solve the problems, you want to help them. And this is one of just those programs that help you does that. All right, so how do you do that? You identify a problem. I think if you just after this today's session, just sit aside and think for 10 minutes, what are the problems locally in my community? I'm pretty sure you can actually come up with at least 5 or 10 problems. I tell you some things. The community I'm living in here in Sweden, it's a fairly modern community, but still we have problems with a lot of mosquitoes. For me, that's a problem. So maybe the local community here around me needs a solution for that. There are a lot of off-shelf solutions, of course, that we can use, but maybe there is something more that we could do. Then you could think of floods. For sure, that's a problem in some part of the world. Fire is definitely a problem. Fishes dying is definitely a problem and whatnot. So think about any of those problems, and then you develop a relationship with the community. So you need to find someone who can help you in making the problem a bit more, I would say, apt for the community. And you can do it yourself. You can do it with the help of your friends. You can do it with the help of local community people. But that's how you do it. And finally, you scope the project. You discuss with your friends from mechanical branch, from engineering, or other domains, and then you come up with a solution. So that's as simple as it gets. I mean, we are really, really not asking you to become super smart engineers. I am sure you all are super smart engineers, but not at the level where professionalism is needed. This is where we are asking students to become smarter, so that you become better professionals later. Just some requirements. We fund projects up to 10,000 US dollars. It's still quite a lot. It has to be done within 1 year, and you can still ask for a continuation. So a second ask is completely fine. If you ask for the second time, we can fund up to $10,000 again. It must have students. As you've been listening me now, this is the program itself is for the students. Then the proposal must have an established partnerships with NGOs, non-governmental organizations. So I think it's a very simple ask. It's a very simple requirement to be able to get funded for some of the projects that you would want to do. You could also think of your bachelor thesis, something you want to solve with your bachelor thesis, and that could be funded by us. What we don't fund, in fact, is computers, mobile phones, and whatnot. I mean, those travel funds, etc., those shouldn't be very extensive. What we can fund is motors, robo kits, drone kits, and whatnot. So just think about what is more a supply versus what is more of a, I would say, capital investment. And what we don't do is capital investment. Okay, now, very short on how are the projects assessed. I mean, how do we decide which projects to fund? We do look for innovation and novelty a little bit. Like I said earlier, I mean, you can find almost every second solution that you think of off the shelf. So you should be able to buy something such as a wheelchair. You can buy off the shelf, for example. But we look for a little bit of innovation and novelty. It could be the cost factor that makes it very innovative and novel. It could be that we are looking at something that we have never seen before. And again, we are not looking here for patents and whatnot, but anything that makes your project a little bit aside, different from the other things that are there off the shelf. So just think of what it could be. But everything else is usual. For all the other IEEE programs, these are common things: project budget, learning outcomes, design, and whatnot. I think this is the only differentiator: innovation and novelty. And again, I mean, don't hesitate to submit a proposal anyways. You shouldn't think of if this is novel or not, and you will get a feedback, and then you can do a reiteration of the project. Okay, so do submit if you're in doubt, but anyways, we'll come back to you. All right, so like I said, I'll not go into the detail of how to write a proposal, but there is a training actually. It's a 2-hour training. So before you submit a proposal, my strong suggestion is that you go ahead, you see the video, and you'll get a lot of ideas on what can make your proposal stronger. It is not very difficult, but it's best to do what's right from the first time than do it later. That just makes your time to get the funding shorter. So that's just a tip here. Again, you can go on ethicsandIEEE.org and find this. So for young professionals now, I also know a lot of people here are young professionals, lecturers and professors maybe. You can still be helping ethics and IEEE by being reviewers, by being mentors. And that's very much appreciated, because as much as we want to help students worldwide, we do need a lot of people, especially reviewers and mentors, to come and help us. So if you are one of those people who has the time to just mentor some students, review some projects, please let us know. We are more than happy to actually, have you on board. And finally, just before I end with the call that we have now, the deadline for the next proposal is 15th October. And this deadline is actually for a specific discussion, the topic of discussion, which is artificial intelligence and autonomous systems community projects. So basically anything that you can think with AI and autonomous systems is in demand around the world. And we have gotten some funding from our donors that wants us to do projects in this area. And the deadline is 15th of October. Having said that, if you have another project idea in mind which doesn't include these, still write to us, still submit a proposal, and maybe we will say that we will have to wait with your approval, but do submit a proposal. Here is a QR code, and you can have a look later. You can go on the website and find more information also. I don't know, Omar, how much time have I gotten now, but I just wanted to show you some sample projects, which I can skip if time is not with me. Omar, do I have 2 minutes or?
Yeah, you can go through this.
All right, okay. These are just sample projects. I picked up the projects from Region 8 now, the ones that we have been funding of lately, just for you to get an idea of what kind of projects have we been funding and what kind of projects can you submit for us to fund. The first one, this is actually from Nigeria. And here are students and IEEE members from a university, from a technology university, I believe, technical university. They came forward to provide a solution As you can see here, this is in the education and outreach section, which is basically to teach and educate. So here they were actually proposing a workshop to train and educate youth in the community on how to produce basically inverters, solar inverters. And this is a success actually. And I hope there is someone from Nigeria section in the call today, or if not, I hope they can give you more details later, but this is a successful project. So this is just one example of what kind of things we do. Another example is from Lebanon section here. Here the university student branch, the American University of Beirut, they came forward to propose a new way of actually providing a recognition tool for plants and crops, so that it overall becomes better and easier to grow things with the help of AI and ML. So they usually you usually can take a picture of a plant or a herb or a shrub and get more idea and get more information on how to grow it and whatnot. So this is done in Lebanon now. Oops. Another one in Uganda. This is in a health center in Itara. And basically here the students have come forward to propose a solar panel and a solar-based solution that can power the complete Itara center. Also a very good project, I would say. It was a very successful project, in fact, for us. The next one is from Turkey. You can read here. This is, again, crops around the world have been growing forever, but there also have been different ways of growing crops in a better way. And we are seeing more and more proposals nowadays to actually grow it even wiser, in a wise way, in a better way. And here is one of those examples, the case of olive trees. So I think I will stop with those projects. We have more projects from Mongolia, as you can read here. We have more projects from India, of course. So a lot of projects, in fact. And we are happy to help you, to talk to you, and train you if you need to be able to write a proposal. But don't hesitate to just reach out if you have an idea. Just write to us. My last slide, the committee members now. I'm not working alone in the ad hoc. I'm, of course, chairing, but also then we have Anna from Germany, Abdullah from Madrid, Spain, Rasala from Bahrain, Lucia from Maribor, actually, in Slovenia, and then we have Zubaida from Morocco helping on the community. On the committee, sorry. So that's the short and simple Apex and IEEE presentation. And you can join us, you can write to us, submit a proposal. Just think of what you can do to make the community better. Thank you.